Welcome to
What's Cookin'?
I'm Deb.
I'm Norma.
And today we're making you some delicious Valentine Day items. You can make them any other time during the year, but we thought because Valentine's is coming up, you might enjoy some great ideas.
Exactly.
So Norma's starting off with
a Salmon Wellington and puff pastry.
oh,
it's
delicious. And what are you putting to go with it?
Roasted carrots with a drizzle of honey.
Yum. Well, I was thinking that it might be really yummy, especially in the cold winter, to start off with some French onion soup, homemade.
Oh my goodness.
And let's finish it off. It's Valentine's. How about creme brulee? Who doesn't like creme brulee?
So we're starting with French and we're ending with French.
Exactly.
Excellent.
Very Frenchy. All right, let's get started.
Okay, next we are going to do a Salmon Wellington. Easy and elegant for any time of the year, but especially for Valentine's Day. So what we have is over here we have mushrooms, and we have roughly, the recipe calls for 8 ounces. If you're doing, let's say maybe 4 of these types of salmons, then you're going to use these salmon fillets, then you're going to use that many mushrooms. If you're only going to do 1 or 2, then fillets you're going to use less. These fillets are roughly under 6 ounces. Anywhere between 4 or 6, up to 6 will work.
And you're making more of a pate.
I'm going to make a pate, absolutely. So we taken 1 shallot and I've chopped it up a little bit. We put it in here. I've chopped up some mushrooms. I like cremini mushrooms because I like something that's hearty.
Yes.
But you can use white mushrooms too. So Deb, go ahead and chop that up.
Okay.
So we want it really fine. So and
I'll show everyone what it looks like. So it's really fine.
Really fine. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to move over to the stove, and to the stove we're going to add butter, and the recipe, if you're using up to 8 ounces of mushrooms, it's 3 tablespoons of butter. So let's go over it, and you're going to saute this till they're soft. So that's basically going to be 3 to 5 minutes.
And you'll see that they get as Norma says, they sweat and they release the water.
Absolutely. And once that's almost there, as we said, 3 to 5 minutes, then to that, we're going to add the wine. So
just pour it in.
And that's about 1/4 cup of wine that we're adding in there. So then to that, we're going to add a little bit of the cream, heavy cream. And as I said earlier, if you don't have heavy cream or you can't use it, you're lactose intolerant, you can use coconut milk. Okay, so it looks done. So to that, we're going to then put it on a plate to let it cool down.
There we go.
Okay, and then we'll
make sure that's off, and then we spread
it out to let it cool
faster.
down. Exactly. All right, so through the magic of TV, we have already produced the mushroom mixture, and you can see it looks the same.
Yeah, but it's our little mushroom pate.
Yes, but it's cooled down. Okay, so here is 1 sheet of the pastry dish. The pastry, so we have it on parchment paper. We have flour underneath, a little bit of flour on top. Okay, and Deb is going to stretch it out this way, roll it out to about 1 inch on each side and a 1/2 inch here.
Okay, so here we go.
I love this little gadget. My husband gets me kitchen gadgets, so I try and use them also. He doesn't think that I'm not appreciative.
But she is. So
the more gadgets, the better.
Keep buying them, Jan.
Yeah.
We both like them.
Yeah, Jan's rolling his eyes. Jan is my husband. So this is looking pretty good. Okay, so we'll stop right there. So here's our salmon. We're going to add to it, just sprinkle some salt. Put that on the side. A little bit of pepper.
And again, if you don't eat pepper or you don't want a lot of salt, don't do it.
So I don't cross-contaminate. Or you can use white pepper, which is not as strong. Throw it over my shoulders. I don't know, it's right, left, I don't even know. I did both, whatever. Okay. Okay.
You're covered on all.
Yeah, I am covered. Hello. All right.
Sprinkle some on top.
Okay, so now we have this. So there's two ways of doing this. You can either cut it in half here and layer the other, or you can put it here and bring it over. I like to bring it over because it's simpler. So to this we've got baby spinach here. You don't need to saute this in advance. I know some people might wonder, well, is it going to give off a lot of water? No, it doesn't. It'll come along fine. Okay, all right, so we have that. So now on top of it is going to go our mushroom. So here's the mushroom mixture. So we're
And you don't have to
spreading
use
it.
the whole thing.
No. And if you know Deb and I, we like to cook with our hands. So it works out easier. Yes, you can use a spatula, you can use all this and that, but
Fingers work the best.
they do. Okay, so we've got
And it's more fun.
the mushroom mixture. Now comes your salmon. Okay,
So
on
it's
top of
just
that.
a nice little bit.
To this, you're going to add pesto. So you don't have to use pesto.
But it makes it taste much better.
And if you're not using pesto, then put the mushroom mixture on top, not underneath as we've done here.
Would you want to put any of the mushrooms on top of that, or is that too much?
No, I think that's enough.
Okay.
So now what we're going to do is, God willing, it's gonna come over
And boom.
and boom.
And then you get a fork.
Okay, I'm trying to fill. Okay. You need some here, here, here. I'm just pushing down with my hands around it. And then with the fork, we're going to press down, making
Little grooves.
little grooves.
Now, would you roll this part up a little bit or cut
I'm
that
gonna
part?
cut it off
Okay.
with a knife. Okay. So what I'm gonna do, because it's not holding the way I want it to. So here we have egg wash. So we have an egg, and I'm going to gently brush it here because that will enable it to adhere really good to the ends. So you're going around. It's like egg glue. Not egg glue. Egg glue. Oh my God. People are rolling their eyes
I know.
now.
What's wrong with this?
Yeah, Where do we start? Okay, so now, here we go.
Here's
Much
your
better.
little fish.
Oh my God.
I'll put it like that.
There you go. That's so cute.
There you go.
Okay, so I'm pushing it, going around, round, round. This is to seal it. All right, you want to seal it.
Seal the deal.
Seal the deal. So, let me take this off, and then we're going to put it back on. So now we are going to brush this with an egg wash. And what this does is it gives it that glistening look. Okay.
You look like a little salmon. I'm floating upstream.
Okay, this is gonna look good. Oh my gosh. Let me cut this. You need to cut it so it can vent.
I want to vent.
Yes, I want to vent. And you put the egg wash first, because if you put it after you vent, the egg is going to go inside.
Right.
So, and I'll do one more over here.
Should we do it on the side?
Okay,
We're floating upstream.
there we go. So cute. Let me dab that with some egg wash. Okay, now we are going to stick this in the oven. We kept it on parchment paper because it's easier that way.
And then we can just cut this part.
Yeah, so we have, here's the dip if you want to cut that.
Sure.
So we are going to stick it in the oven for about 25 minutes. The bigger the salmon, the more cooking time. So if you only have a 3 ounce, it's going to be 20 minutes. 4 ounce, it could be 25 minutes.
And all ovens are different. So just,
Exactly.
you know your oven and just be cautious
Exactly.
with that.
So let's go ahead, and I am trying to think, the temperature is 400 degrees.
Yes.
Okay, so here it goes.
For 20 minutes. Okay, so now we're ready to do French onion soup.
Ooh la la.
And on a day like today, it's cool out, it'll be perfect. Okay.
All right,
So-
show us what to do.
So you need about 5 to 6 onions. So I've already cut up onions and I have them in here. And I'm going to just show you how you need to cut the onions so that they stay sort of long. So you want to cut them like this. And it doesn't have to be exactly, don't cut your fingers.
And any kind of onion or yellow onions?
Yellow onion mainly, I think that's the best. So I'm gonna let you pull these apart while I cut this other half. So I'm gonna put a big blob of butter, so it's about a teaspoon or so. And we're going to put it in, and then we're gonna saute our onions until they're soft. You want them a little brown, and the reason I'm doing it in this pan is I'm going to add all the other liquid to the pan, and I'll go through what we're doing. So if you want to take that to the stove and start cooking, that would be great. So you want your onions to be a little browner than that, but for time purposes today, we're just going to add everything and it will
It'll come together.
all come together. So I'm going to put in my beef broth. Keep mixing that around. My homemade chicken soup.
You can see how thick it is from
Right.
the vegetables that you blended in
Yes.
there.
A little bit of seasoning salt. Again, I like porterhouse. This is about a cup of wine left. And you put that in. And then you bake it, or you boil it for a good half hour or so until it's really rich. If you want to, you can add, to make it a little thicker, you can add some flour to it, and that will
Thicken it up.
thicken it up. And then the other thing, it calls for one
Oh, that's interesting. Sugar.
sugar. So it makes it, sorry, I got a little butter on my sleeve. But, and so you just let this simmer, and the longer it cooks, the better it's going to be. So, and just, a lot of times they say add a pinch of sherry, add a pinch of brandy, but I had orange cognac, so
Here we go.
a little drop. And so let's cook that.
So simmer it for
A good half hour to 40 minutes. So let's do
Okay.
that. And the other thing that you want to do is, this was my mom's, and I have these cute little
Oh, that's
bowls
cute.
to go into the oven. So what I did is I toasted a
baguette. You cut
baguette,
it.
but you want sourdough because sourdough has a little different flavor.
Mhm.
So of course, let's butter it up.
We never said this was going to be a low-calorie meal.
No. So I'll have the
But
butter
it's not
stuff.
bad. It's just a few things here and there.
Yeah. So they're buttered up. Once it's finished, we're going to fill the bowls with soup. Then we'll put the bread on, and then we'll add the cheese and we'll broil it. So I'm gonna check on the soup, and we'll be back in just a few minutes and we'll finish up this delicious dish. Okay, so the soup is finished and we put it into our little onion soup
Your
pots.
tureen there.
And we toast a little baguette and make sure it's sourdough, and you can put your bread inside. So, well, before we do that, let's add a little bit of crème brûlée. So just a drop.
Just a touch, because it probably burned off when we were
Yeah. It just adds such a delicious
boiling
flavor. So in you pop your bread, you put your Gruyere cheese. So the
Oh.
Gruyere is more of a Swiss cheese. So you could use other cheeses, but
It
this
melts
is-
really good though.
and it tastes so good.
Mhm.
So why don't we pop this in and then we'll try it.
Okay, excellent. I'll put it in our oven.
Okay.
So next we're going to have, as part of our menu, roasted carrots. Who doesn't like roasted carrots? Yum.
And they look so beautiful. Norma bought the variety of colors, so it's not just orange, but it's white and yellow and
and purple.
Purple.
So what you need to do is cut them at an angle. We've already got them prepared. So we peeled, sliced them at an angle. I'm going to use about roughly 1 tablespoon or so of olive oil. You can use whatever you like. I use butter olive oil.
Which is so yummy.
It imparts more flavor. Then to this, I'm going to add about a tablespoon of honey.
And if you buy honey from your local stores that are from whatever area you live in, it's supposed to add more protection for your body because the bees are going to the local flowers and it's just better for your system. So it's really good for you too.
Excellent. Okay, and so to this, if you have fresh thyme, that would be nice. You can add it on top, but I have dried herbs, so I'm going to sprinkle just a few of these. There we go. And if you want, you could put it in a casserole dish such as I have, or in a baking dish. And then you're going to stick it in the oven for roughly about 30 minutes at 400, 450. So you're going to want to watch it carefully. So here it is, and let's stick it in the oven.
Now we're going to start our creme brulee. It's for 2. It's fairly easy, but there's a couple pointers that I want to make sure you understand. So it's the cooking time. So if you make it and you've had runny creme brulee, it's just that you haven't baked it enough. It's a custard, and so it has to finish cooking. So like a cake or anything else, it needs to have that time. And in the middle, when you take it out, it should be a little jiggly. And so that's all you need. So let's start. So we're starting with 3 eggs, and I'm going to crack the eggs. So you're just doing the egg yolk. So here's 1 egg. Here's egg number 2. See as you let, and then we have our final.
I'm sure there's a device out there for this.
Oh, I'm sure. It's kind of fun to do that. Okay, the next thing is you add 1 cup of cream. Sorry, there's no dietetic stuff that I know of. And if you can't do cream, I don't know what would work.
There might be other things you could try, coconut cream, but you know, this is creme brulee,
So anyway.
We're showing you how to make it the right way.
Right, and it's heavy cream. It has to be heavy cream. So if you're gonna do it right. Okay, so here's the next key. When you whip this, you don't want to have it get a lot of air.
Oh, okay.
So what we're going to do is we're going to whip it, but I want to add, so you can add vanilla, or what I like to do before we're doing this is vanilla bean. All that. So you just open up the bean and you scrape and you just put it in there like so. And it adds such a nice rich flavor. And then when we're done doing that, I'll show you how to whisk it, and then it'll be yummy and delicious. So I'm just gonna finish scraping all the beans from it. And as you see,
you could get a spoon too, a little spoon, and pull it maybe.
Yeah. I think you just have to, because it's tough to, I mean, this is now softer. But you just have to get in there and have a sharp knife. Be careful not to cut your fingers. But you can see what it looks like. Or even, for me, I can just scoop it off.
There you go, much faster.
Yeah, trying to scrape. So, there you go. That part's done. Make sure you have all this yumminess in there. And the next thing you do is we're gonna whisk it. So this is a whisk. And as you see, it's starting to turn a warm yellow color. And you whisk vigorously, but you don't want to lift it and whisk it, and you don't want to use an electric blender or
okay. Or a product like a KitchenAid and you put it in.
No, you don't want to do that. You just want to just whisk it like so. Make sure you get all the yummy vanilla bean.
And how do you know when it's done?
About a minute or so. So as you see, you're whisking and you're making sure, and if you stop, it looks, I don't know if the camera can see this, but it's like the little beans inside.
Oh, they're starting to break up like little pepper, black
Yeah,
pepper.
it looks like little black pepper. It's a good. And you just whisk it really good and make sure the egg is well blended. It's your custard, because that's what this is. It's a custard. So that looks pretty good to me. Then you take 2 ramekins, because this is for 2. And what I like to do is just easier to pour it from the,
So you don't spill.
yeah. Then you pour it into your ramekin. And like so. Okay, so now we need to do a little bath. So we have a glass Pyrex dish, which I filled about halfway up with water. So you cook this in a water bath. It's a custard, and that's how you do it. So as you can see all the vanilla beans at the top, and then we put it in here, and put it in here. And then we're going to bake it for about 50 minutes at 350 degrees. And then when it comes out of the bath, you let it cool down in the bath till it's cool. Do not take it while it's hot. It must cool down completely. So we're going to put this in, and we'll be right back. It's been 50 minutes, and this is completely cooled off. And as you can see, I'm going to lift this up. But see, it's not really jiggling a lot, and that's what you want. If
It came together.
It came together. It's the middle that will jiggle the most. So now what you do is you take this, and it has to go into your refrigerator at least for 2 hours. So my suggestion is make this the day before. This is not a last minute dessert. Unless you get up at 5 in the morning, you make it, you put it in your refrigerator, and then you have it that night. You can do that, but it's easier to make the day before. So I'm gonna put this in, and we'll be right back. Okay, so this has been in the refrigerator for 6 hours. It's been a long day.
Wow, yes.
We're exhausted.
But it's really set.
Yeah, it's set and it's cold, because that's what you want. Sometimes you've had warm brulee. So the next thing to do is you want to put in sugar. And in one of our segments, you remember, we made what's called vanilla sugar. So we took a vanilla bean and we blended it with the sugar, and then we took the empty vanilla bean and put it in the vanilla. So it can stay in there and it doesn't go bad, and it's really good. So now what we're going to do is sprinkle a lot of sugar, because we're going to caramelize it. Now, I'm going to keep this from going in there. I have a torch that we're going to torch the sugar. But if you don't have that, put it in your broiler and watch it very carefully for like maybe 2 minutes, whatever, and it'll get brown and bubbly. So I'm going to start this, and
Should I stand back?
no, we're good. There we go. And as you see, I'm just browning it.
So it's caramelizing in the process.
Uh-huh.
So it's going to form that hard crust,
Yes.
that hard sugar crust that everybody loves in their creme brulee.
Right. Now the other thing that you can do is you can make this ahead of time, caramelize it, and then put it back in the refrigerator until you're ready to serve it. So I'm just gonna melt this a little bit more. Watch your fingers.
I'm stepping back.
Let's get it right there. And then put that spot. Okay, so one is done. We're gonna scoot it over. And actually I'm gonna take it off the plastic. So here we go again. And you see how quick and easy it is. It smells so good.
It's coming together really quickly.
There. So
Okay.
it's so as you see, this one's a little bit darker. It's hot because I was doing that. And this one's a little lighter, and you're ready to go. So Norma, so just to finish it off, Norma took a strawberry and she sliced it and sort of kept it together. And what?
These are big strawberries.
Big old
I
strawberries.
just want to say.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to take that one off.
And there's the other one.
Here's the other one.
And what a beautiful presentation. So if you're trying to make that special someone impressed, This is definitely going to do it. It's a little bit of time, but it's fairly easy. The prep time is about 10 minutes. And then it's the rest of the cooking, and then putting in the refrigerator, and then putting your caramel on. And so you can take this whole dish like this and put it in your refrigerator, and then have it at the end of your meal the following day if you want to
It
do
looks
that.
fantastic.
It smells great. Here's our finished product. We have our French onion soup with Gruyere cheese and a little baguette of the sourdough bread. And Norma's delicious.
We have a Salmon Wellington here. I've cut it in half. This thing turned out really big, along with the roasted carrots that were drizzled with olive oil and honey. And
The creme brulee, which
Yes.
is the...
piece de resistance. Yes.
Okay, we're gonna dig in. Monja, monja. Okay.
Just cut off a tiny bit here. Now, if you have a lot of pesto, that would be interesting to have it on the side or put it on top. So here we go.
It's delicious.
Mmm.
And the carrots, really, really good.
Mm-hmm. And so simple.
Mm-hmm. I would suggest starting with your onion soup first, but dig in. Well, so good with a little bit of cognac, or it just finishes it off.
It really does.
And
It's
last but not least,
Yes. Because I know people are watching going,
they're eating out of the same.
yeah, they're using, it's like double dipping.
Yeah, okay, so we dig in and hear it crunch.
Oh.
Mmm. So good.
Mm.
Remember, the key is let the custard cook. So if you take it out and it's really wiggly, it's not done enough, do another 5 or 10 minutes.
And then let it sit in your refrigerator for
Yes,
a long time.
and remember, at the end, it has to sit in the bath until it's cool. Don't take it out ahead of time. You have to have patience because it's really good.
So we hope you enjoyed our Valentine's episodes. And
Thank you for joining us, and have a wonderful Valentine's or anytime meal. And thank you for joining us.
so take care and
Remember to watch us on
what's cooking?